With us right now is Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, who's here in Qatar for trade talks and for exploring ways to expand business ties between Qatar and India. Mr. Goyal, thank you very much for being with us here on CNBC-TV18. I'd like to ask you about the World Bank's latest forecast on India. They revised the FY26 forecast upwards from 6.3 to 6.5%, but the forecast for FY27 has been reduced from 6.5 to 6.3%. And this is because of the tariff impact that US tariffs will have. How do you see this, and what is the government going to do in order to protect our exports, ring-fence our exporters?
Well, if you look at the first quarter's growth figure of 7.8%, and the indications are that this quarter also will go well, particularly given that GST simplification and rationalization has given a big boost to domestic spending. My sense is it's very appropriate that estimates have been revised upward, and we may possibly even land up doing better than that. As regards the tariffs, I can give you one data point. Tariffs have been in play for some time now. But despite that, our exports in the current year, in the first 6 months, are up by 4 to 5%. So India is a very resilient economy. The Indian businesses are not overtly dependent on exports. And I'm sure we'll be able to also come to terms and resolve issues with the United States in the near future. In any case, when we had launched the bilateral trade negotiations, we were looking at a fall October-November deadline. India is more focused on a very proper WTO-compliant, focused agreement with the US. And I'm quite confident that even next year, we will probably do better, and World Bank will be required to once again upgrade next year's forecast as well.
So what is the current situation of our trade negotiations with the US? You spent a considerable amount of time there. Minister Jaishankar, he was speaking at an event in Delhi where he said we are yet to find a landing ground in the negotiations. How would you describe the current state of play? Where are things right now?
We are in very active dialogue, and there's a deep understanding of each other. I'm quite confident that we will be able to resolve the issues that are on the table and find the landing zone in the near future. As long as both countries and the negotiators respect each other's sensitivities and agree on a fair and equitable, balanced trade agreement, which will also help to balance trade deficits in the long run. I'm sure this will be a very positive development, which we are all working towards.
What has also changed in the last few weeks? When you were there in the US, you made a point that US is going to play a very critical role in the energy partnership and India's energy requirements in future. How do you see the energy ties expanding?
If you recall, that conference was about renewable energy largely. And that statement was made in the context of clean energy and renewable energy. We also are looking at exporting to the US green hydrogen and green ammonia from India. And I think India would like to have relations across the world, particularly in the context of resilient supply chains and also as a contributor to the sustainability efforts of the world.
Right. Now, coming to Qatar, you're here and you've had 2 days of intensive conversations with ministers and business people. By when can we have an FTA? And how is this FTA important? Because the total basket is around $14 billion right now. The idea is to expand it. But then LNG is such a big component. It's a small country. How is this important, and what are we trying to do?
Well, as regards LNG, Qatar helps us in our energy security in LNG with their substantial sales of LNG to India. We've entered into an extended 20-year contract until 2048, which will provide the necessary stability to our LNG demand and requirement. we also believe that with 800,000 plus Indians working in Qatar and with an economy which is also growing, Qatar offers opportunity for both goods and services export. We are also exploring third country exports from Qatar, particularly of services. So collectively, we are going to work towards doubling the trade from $14 billion to $30 billion by 2030. And most of the growth will come out of non-energy or non-LNG exports.
So you mentioned that we may possibly have an FTA with Qatar by third quarter of next year or even earlier. How many more FTAs with Gulf are in the pipeline?
The Oman FTA has been finalized and we are hoping to close discussions on the Oman FTA soon. One more country is in active dialogue and wants us to initiate discussions for an FTA. We are waiting to get some bandwidth since I already have teams busy with the EU and Chile, Peru, US, New Zealand, Australia for phase 2. ASEAN review is going on. So right now it's a busy season on FTAs.
Right. On China, sir, is the press note 3 under review? Any progress in terms of revisiting our ties with China?
I think the process is underway to reverse back to the pre-Galwan position, having resolved most of the issues around Galwan, due to which in the first place the restrictions or approval process was brought in. I'm sure going forward we will look at things with an open mind and see what are the possibilities to bring back a greater engagement with China, both on investments and in trade.
And finally, sir, is there next phase of reforms that we can expect for exporters? There was talk about a 28,000, 25,000 crore export promotion mission as well. Anything that Indian exporters can...
Well, I think Indian exporters continue to power the Indian economy. Even in the first 6 months of this year, as I said, we've had a growth of 4 to 5%, and we will continue to do well. And government has an open mind, and depending on circumstances and the situation, we will take the appropriate measures to support Indian exporters.
Minister Goyal, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for watching this on CNBC TV18. Hope you liked it. For more such interesting news and updates, follow CNBC TV18 on all the social media platforms.